So in my previous talk, I have finished explaining what is ignorant. Ignorant is not knowing the Four Noble Truths and not knowing the five aggregates, past and future, and also not knowing the dependent origination. So now we come to karmic formation. Depend on ignorance, karmic formation. So what is karmic formations? Sankhara. The characteristic, the lakkhana of sankhara is to form. To form. Then the function is to accumulate karma, wholesome karma and unwholesome karma. Okay, and the manifestation is volition. Therefore, Buddha said, "Oh monks, volition means karma. Having will, one perform actions, verbally, physically, and mentally." So this is the meaning of karmic formations. Okay, there are three types of karmic formations. One is called formations of demerit, Appamada sankhara. So formation of demerit include the volition in the 12 types of unwholesome consciousness. So we have 12 akusala citta, 8 rooted in greed, 2 in anger, and 2 in delusions. So this comprise, these 12 types of unwholesome citta comprise all akusala, physical, verbal, and mental formations. So this formation also including mental, physical, and verbal. So the first type of karmic formation is called formation of demerit, Appamada sankhara. Then the second one is formations of merit, Punyabhi sankhara. And these are divided into 2 categories. Number 1 is volition in the 8 types of wholesome consciousness pertaining to the sense sphere. So in the sense sphere consciousness, we have 8 wholesome consciousness, 4 rooted in wisdom, and 4 dissociated with wisdom. So there are 8. And another type is volition in the 5 types of wholesome consciousness pertaining to the 5 material sphere. So this one is go beyond sense sphere. It's called jhana consciousness. 5 material sphere. There are 5 types of jhana. So there's 5 types of wholesome consciousness refer to first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and fourth and fifth jhana, and wholesome consciousness. So 8 plus 5, 13. Okay, 13 plus the formation of demerit, 12. So 13, so 25. So 25. Then the last one is formation of the imperturbable. We call aninjabi sankhara. And this includes volition in the 4 types of wholesome consciousness pertaining to the immaterial sphere. Mean 4 immaterial jhana. Nothingness, the base of nothingness, base of infinite space, base of base of infinite space, base of consciousness, base of nothingness, and neither perception nor non-perception. So these are the 4 immaterial jhana. We call aninjabi sankhara, formations of the imperturbable, which are mental formation only, no physical, no verbal, because it's the jhana, so they belong to mental formations. So just now 25 plus this 4, or 29. So all these 29 type of consciousness is called karmic formations. Okay, and karmic formation include unwholesome one and a wholesome one, and some include physical and verbal formation, but for jhana they cover they just cover mental formation. Okay. Okay. Now, because it's a dependent origination, we want to see the link, how they link together. So how does ignorance condition karmic formations? Many people can learn by heart, depend on ignorant karmic formation. But how? Most people do not understand how. So let me see one by one. As we know, the meaning of ignorance is not knowing. Not knowing the four, let's say let me explain the Four Noble Truths first. So ignorant means not knowing the Four Noble Truths. Ignorant, in fact, covers two meanings. One is not knowing. The second one is knowing wrongly. So there are two, two dangers in ignorance. One is not knowing, blind, cannot see clearly, therefore not knowing. So this one danger. Another danger is know wrongly. So not only not knowing, but know wrongly. That's even worse. Okay? How? Suppose ignorant does not know the truth of suffering. The noble truth of suffering, which is 5 aggregates of clinging, or another word, birth. Birth. When there's birth, there is coming of the 5 aggregate, right? So ignorant does not know birth or clinging to the 5 aggregate is suffering. Instead, ignorance or know wrongly or wrongly know that 5 aggregates of clinging, or another word, birth, jati. Birth is happiness. So not knowing birth is suffering, and yet instead know wrongly birth is happiness. This is called ignorance. Okay. So when you know birth is happiness, so you want to have more birth again and again. You want to come back to the world again, right? To get a new birth, to be reborn again. So in order to be reborn, you have to perform karma, action. We call karmic formation. Whether for some people who don't believe in karma and resultant, they may perform unwholesome 12 types. One of the 12 types of unwholesome karma we call Appamada sankhara. Or for some people who hope to reborn in a heaven, so they perform dana. We call punyabi sankhara, formation of merit. So they perform dana, they perform services, they listen to talk, they become good person, they serve the parents well. So all these are called karmic formation, but good karmic formation. So, and for somebody, they want to be reborn in a Brahma world. They feel that, human world or heaven world full of sensual enjoyment, and not everybody likes sensual enjoyment. Some prefer stay in the jhana for a long time. So they try to practice very hard jhana, concentration, meditation, or tranquility meditation, and they attain jhana. So practicing jhana or practicing tranquility or concentration meditation is also called karmic formations. If he try immaterial jhana, then we call formation. We call anenjabi sankhara, formation of imperturbable. So this is how, not knowing the truth of suffering, which is 5 aggregates of clinging or birth, one performs either unwholesome karmic formations or wholesome karmic formation or immaterial jhana karmic formation. I hope you understand. Okay. Then the second, not knowing the origin of suffering. One, not knowing the origin of suffering, which is craving, right? And ignorant also wrongly know or know wrongly craving is a source of happiness. So when Buddha said craving is the origin of suffering, most people do not understand this. So they are ignorant. But also they know wrongly. They think, they misperceive that craving is the origin of happiness. Therefore, we chase after, human beings chase after what you desire, right? What you desire is also one type of craving. But all of us chase after what we desire. Because we do not know what we desire, in fact, extend the round of rebirth. Okay? I give a very good example. Suppose honey. You see, the ant likes honey very much. So the ant does not understand craving is the truth of suffering. It's the origin, sorry. The ant does not understand the craving is the truth of suffering. The craving is the origin of the truth of suffering. So the ant come close to the honey, and now they take he takes sips the honey, and finally drawn inside without control his desire. He drawn inside the honey and die. So he does not know craving is the origin of suffering, and know wrongly craving is the origin of happiness. So when he enjoys the honey, he does not know craving will bring death to him. So this is how ignorant condition karmic formation. So when he went inside the honey and tried to take the honey very greedily, this is called karmic formations, actions. So this is how ignorant condition karmic formation. And the third one, not knowing the cessation of the truth of suffering, which is not to be born again. Not to be born again, or nibbana, or the cessation of craving. I mean, to make it understand, we say not to be born again. Even I say nibbana, many people don't understand what is nibbana, right? So, but not to be reborn again is very clear to understand. So ignorant does not understand, or blind. Not to be born again is the cessation of all suffering. But ignorant know wrongly. To be reborn in a certain plane of existence is the cessation of suffering. For example, Hindu believe to be reborn in the Brahma world, Mahabrahma. To be reborn in the Brahma world is the cessation of all suffering. But Buddha say, when there is birth, when there is reborn, when there is birth, there is death. So how can the Brahma born in the Brahma world, the cessation of suffering? Once the karma born in the Brahma world come to cessation, and this Brahma will come down, will fall down from the Brahma world and reborn again, and the suffering comes back again. So how can we say reborn in the Brahma world is the cessation of suffering? So ignorant does not understand. Cessation of suffering is not to be reborn, but know wrongly to be reborn in certain destination is the cessation of suffering. Therefore, Hindu, they try very hard meditation, especially samatha meditation. Even nowadays, you go to India, you can see many hermits we call sadhu. They try very hard in the forest and practice concentration meditation because they aim to be reborn in the Brahma world. They think the Brahma world is eternal. So this is how ignorant condition karmic formation. They are practicing of jhana is called karmic formations. And for some Christian, they think reborn after that, reborn in the heaven is the cessation of all suffering. But as Buddha say, when you reborn in heaven, the karma born in heaven exhausted, and heavenly being also will fall down again, either into the animal world or into human world. So this is not the end. Whenever there is reborn, there is not a cessation of all suffering. But many people take the wrong action, practice wrongly because of the ignorance. Ignorance does not understand the real cessation of suffering and know wrongly, or wrongly know to be reborn in certain destination is the cessation of suffering. Therefore, they embark on 3 types of karmic formations. Okay? And the 4th one, not knowing noble eightfold path, which is the path leading to the cessation of suffering. And some people know wrongly, like know wrongly certain rights and riches is the path leading to the cessation of suffering. Therefore, some people, they worship the fire, worship the trees, or they practice like cow practices or dog practices because they think this is the path, this is the practice. Or some people, they only 念经 or only reciting only. So they think this is the path leading to the cessation of all suffering. Because they don't understand the real path is the noble eightfold path. So they embark upon 3 types of karmic formation, whether it's formation of merit, wholesome, or formation of demerit, unwholesome consciousness, or formation of imperturbable. So this is how the ignorant condition karmic formations. Then the next, not understand the 5 aggregate and not understand the dependent origination. Therefore, a person engaged in the karmic formations. So this is very easy to understand. Whenever you done any karmic formations, that karmic formation leave behind karmic tendency. And the karmic tendency, when mixed with favorable conditions, will spring forth and arise, become a rebirth consciousness for the next existence. Therefore, the cycle of rebirth will continue, right? Therefore, it say ignorant condition karmic formations. Now, so long you don't understand the 4 noble truths, you do not know the correct practice leading to the cessation of suffering, and the cycle of rebirth will continue. Okay, so I think if I give this, for example, is already clear for you to understand how does ignorance condition karmic formations. I can keep on going telling you the example, but I have to finish this today. Okay, and Buddha explained in the Samyutta Nikaya 12, Nidana Samyutta, Sutta 51. recluse. If a person immersed in ignorance generates a meritorious volitional formation, consciousness face on to the meritorious. So if you're a person do a good deed, they say karmic formation, formation of merit. So Buddha say here, consciousness will continue to the meritorious. And if one generates demeritorious volitional formation, we call akusala, unwholesome karmic formation, and consciousness also will continue to the demeritorious. And if one generates an imperturbable, which is immaterial jhana, if one generates an imperturbable volitional formation, then consciousness face on to the imperturbable. So from what Buddha say, it clearly indicates karmic formation, depend on karmic formation, consciousness. Why? Right? When there is karmic formation, then consciousness will continue to go on. Therefore, we say karmic formation, condition, consciousness. Depend on what Buddha say in the sutta also. But now come to the question, how? How do karmic formations condition consciousness? Let me go back to this process of birth and death. So suppose a person, before dying, he performed a lot of demerit, formation of demerit. I mean 12 types of akusala citta, one of the 12 types of akusala citta. So during his dying moment, and this unwholesome karma ripen, is going to produce consciousness, we call rebirth consciousness, in the future life. So let's say, so this one, then the consciousness, the rebirth, when the death DH, when that consciousness come to stop, and because of the formation of demerit done in the past, and the consciousness face on to the demerit, and this rebirth consciousness will arise in one of the 4 woeful states. Maybe in the animal realm and so on, right? Another example, suppose a person crave to be reborn in heaven, thinking heaven is permanent, thinking heaven is full of enjoyment. So he performed a lot of dana, charity, keeping his sila, or offering his services to the Buddha's sasana. So when during dying moment, the karma of dana, we say formation of merit, karmic formation, formation of merit ripen and it's going to produce rebirth consciousness in the future. So after that consciousness, then the consciousness fade on to heaven, and this consciousness, which is meritorious consciousness, arise in the heavenly realm. This is how karmic formation condition consciousness. Okay. So consciousness here refer to resultant consciousness. Resultant consciousness here refer again to rebirth linking consciousness. So there are 3 types. We call 4 types. Rebirth linking consciousness. Sense sphere. Sense sphere including four woeful states, including animals, also including human and deva. So if one perform karmic, demerit karmic formation, then the rebirth linking consciousness will arise in one of the 4 woeful states. Okay, but if one perform let's say jhana, we call formation of merit jhana, first jhana to 5th jhana, then the rebirth linking consciousness will arise in 5 material spheres. And if one perform the karmic formation of immaterial jhana, then the rebirth linking consciousness will arise in material sphere. This is very easy to understand. Then I would like to ask you a question. Who creates rebirth linking consciousness? Can you type your answer on the chat board? Who creates rebirth linking consciousness?
Okay, please type your answer so I can. People say evolution. Nobody identify you, karma, ignorance, own self. So there are quite a lot of answers.
Okay.
Mostly says karmic or formations.
Okay. I mean, the reason why I want you to answer, I want to make sure you understand what I am teaching, right? So, who creates rebirth linking consciousness? Ignorance and karmic formations. I'm happy nobody say creator. Huh? For Christian, they will say creator, created me. Huh? But for Buddhists, we say ignorant and karmic formations creates rebirth linking consciousness. This is right view. Okay? Ignorant is also neither self nor karmic formation. They are only dependent arisen phenomena. So karmic depend on karmic formation consciousness. So consciousness here not only refer to the rebirth linking consciousness, it also refer to the consciousness occur in the course of an individual in existence. For example, the 5 sense consciousness, eye consciousness, ear, nose, tongue, and body consciousness. These are also produced by karmic formations in the past. Also receiving consciousness, investigating consciousness, all these are called resultant consciousness produced by karmic formation in the past. So here we can understand karmic formation and the ignorance, these are in the past life, happen in the past life. Then the rebirth linking consciousness, and also the present in the present life, and also our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body consciousness. All these are the resultant consciousness from the karma from the past life. Okay. Now, we come to the next link. Consciousness, condition, mind and matter. Depend on ignorance, karmic formation. Depend on karmic formation, consciousness. Now, the next link is depend on consciousness, mind and matter. So how this happens? Okay, so depend on consciousness, arise mind. Let us, we separate it, we explain it separately. So depend on consciousness, mind. Here, mind refer to mental factors. Here, consciousness, rebirth consciousness, continue from the previous one. Consciousness here is resultant consciousness. We call rebirth linking consciousness. We take one example to explain. So with the arising of rebirth consciousness, mind here refer to mental factors. We have already understood that consciousness cannot arise alone, right? With the arising of consciousness, my mental factors must arise together. Therefore, depend on consciousness, mental factors arise together. Here, there are 33 mental factors arise together with resultant consciousness or rebirth linking consciousness. This is how consciousness condition mind. Here, mind refer to mental factors. Then how consciousness condition matter. So here, matter is kamaja rupa. Matter produced by karma. Suppose here consciousness is rebirth linking consciousness. So at the moment of rebirth linking consciousness, there are body decade kalapa. Decade means 10. Body decade kalapa. And there is also sex decade kalapa called gender. Gender decade kalapa. Another one is heart-based decade kalapa. So 30. 3 decade kalapa. So we call 30 rupa. So during the arising of rebirth linking consciousness, the kamaja rupa, material bond of karma also arise together. So this is how consciousness conditions mind and matter. So next one. Then depend on mind and matter, 6 sense bases. Salayatana. Depend on mind and matter, 6 sense bases. So let's see what are the 6 sense bases first. So 6 sense bases including eye sensitivity, or called eye base, chakra yatana. Ear sensitivity, sota yatana. Nose sensitivity, kana yatana. Tongue sensitivity, jingva yatana. Body sensitivity, kaya yatana. So here sensitivity same as base. We call eye base, body base, and so on. And plus number 6 is called mind base, mana yatana. Mind base, unlike the eye base or body base, they are the rupa. Mind base is not rupa. It's resultant consciousness. It's the consciousness according to Abhidhamma. The mind base is resultant consciousness. So depend on the mind here. Mind means mental factor. Following the previous depend on consciousness, mind and matter. That mind is cetasika, mental factors, right? So depend on the mind, mental factor, then mind base arises. Our resultant consciousness arises. We already know the relationship with mental factors and consciousness is mutually support. The arising of mental factors cause consciousness to arise. And the arising of consciousness cause mental factors to arise. So their relationship is called mutually support. We call enya manya pachayo, according to 24 patana. Enya manya pachayo. Therefore, depend on mind. Here, mind means mental factors. Depend on mind, then mind based resultant consciousness arise. Okay, and depend on matter. Matter here means 4 elements, or matter produced by karma. Then 5 sense bases: eyes, eye base, ear base, nose, tongue, body. They are also karma born. rupa. So, but this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body arise depend on the 4 elements, right? Depend on the matter produced by karma. Therefore, it is said, depend on mind and matter, 6 sense bases arise. Next one, depend on 6 sense bases contact. When sense object, what are the sense object? Sense object mean visible object, sound, smell, taste, tangible or mental object. We call sense object. When sense object impinge sense bases, we have 6 sense bases, right? Ear base, nose base, tongue base, and so on. So when sense object impinge sense bases, and 6, then consciousness will arise. For example, visible object impinge eye base, that will cause eye consciousness to arise. So the conjunction of these 3, sense object and sense bases and consciousness, is called contact. It's called contact. So since we have this called how dependent on 6 sense bases contact, and since we have 6 sense bases, we have 6 sense object and we have 6 sense bases, therefore we have 6 types of contact. So we have 6 types of contact. What are the 6 types of contact? Eye contact. When visible object impinge to the sense, to the eye base, then it causes eye contact to arise, right? So we have eye contact, ear contact, nose contact, tongue contact, body contact, and mind contact. Okay? And depend on the contact feeling. So when the 6 sense objects impinge on the respective 6 sense bases, 6 classes of feeling are formed. Feeling born of eye contact, feeling born of ear contact, feeling born of nose contact, feeling born of tongue contact, feeling born of body contact, and feeling born of mind contact. Okay, so feeling born of eye contact. Here, feeling born of eye contact can be pleasant feeling. So when they say, when a man sees a beautiful woman, so due to eye contact, pleasant feeling born of eye contact arise, right? But sometimes the eye see an enemy. So when the eye sees an enemy, then unpleasant feeling born of eye contact will arise. Right? And sometimes the eyes see only a stranger, a person who you do not know. So no pleasant feeling nor unpleasant feeling. At this time, neither pleasant feeling nor unpleasant feeling will arise, right? So feeling born of eye contact, they can be pleasant, unpleasant, or neither pleasant nor unpleasant, right? Similarly, feeling born of ear contact can be pleasant, unpleasant, or neither pleasant nor unpleasant. For example, abusive word come to ear. So due to this unpleasant ear contact, then unpleasant feeling. Or when somebody praise you, because of a pleasant ear contact, then pleasant feeling, right? Therefore, feeling born of ear contact can be either pleasant, unpleasant, no, or neither pleasant nor unpleasant. So 3. So feeling bond of ear contact can be one of the 3. Similarly to the rest of the feeling. So each feeling can have 3 types of feeling. So 6 plus 3 or 18 types of feeling can arise out of the 6 types of contact. And this feeling become one of the foundation of mindfulness. We have 4 foundation of mindfulness. I will explain this 4 foundation of mindfulness in the year-end retreat, not here. So this feeling, 18 types of feeling, is become the object of contemplation, become the object of foundation of our mindfulness. And it's very important, very, very important to contemplate feeling. Why? For what reasons? Because depend on feeling, craving arises. And craving is the origin of all suffering. You want to cut off the craving, you have to contemplate feeling. When you contemplate feeling as impermanent, vanishing, passing away, then craving will not arise. But if we don't contemplate on feeling, and feeling will fit craving, and craving is the origin of suffering. When craving arises, we suffer accordingly. Continue the 6 type of craving, because there are 6 type of feeling. Therefore, we have 6 types of craving. First is craving for visible object, craving for sounds, for smells, for taste, and for tangible object, and craving for mental objects. So we have 6 types of craving, depend on the 6 types of feeling. However, these 6 types of craving can be summarized into 3 types of craving. There is craving for sensual pleasures. Craving for sensual pleasures is associated with the view of eternalism, thinking the pleasures are permanent. For example, we crave for sensual pleasures, right? And this life, I crave for sensual pleasures, having family, having wife, having house and son and daughter. So I also entertain the eternalism view that in the next life, I also will be the same person who enjoy the sensual pleasures. Therefore, this craving for sensual pleasures is also accompanied with eternalism. Then craving for existence, also same. Craving for existence is craving for life. You crave for existence so that you can enjoy sensual pleasures, and you think it's the same person. Even the next life, the life after next life, also is the same person who enjoy the sensual pleasures. Once you have existence, you can enjoy the sensual pleasures. Therefore, craving for existence is also accompanied by the view of eternalism. And the third one, craving for non-existence, this is associated with wrong view of annihilation. This person thinks that after death, nothing exists. Everything comes to cessation. But now we believe in dependent origination. We don't believe in annihilation, because so long there is craving, there is ignorance, there is karmic formation, the life will continue. So how can a life come to annihilation after death? Right? So most of the Buddhists, they don't believe in craving for non-existence. But most of the Buddhists believe in or engage in craving for existence, and thinking that it's the same person, same I, they go through the cycle of rebirth. Therefore, we say craving for existence is associated with eternalism, thinking there's a permanent self, go through the cycle of rebirth. Craving, in the Four Noble Truths, Buddha said, craving is the origin of suffering. And craving and ignorance, according to Abhidhamma, are the two root causes, for repeated birth. Now we come to the next link, depend on craving, clinging. What's the difference among clinging and craving? Clinging is the intense craving. Craving means, let's say, example, craving means I want to get my desirable sensual pleasures. Or there's a jewel, there's a jewel on the table. So you crave for the jewel. Clinging means you stretch your hand and grasp the jewel. So it's called intense craving. You have to get it, otherwise you feel unsatisfied. This is called clinging. So there are four types of clinging. Clinging, first is clinging to sensual pleasures. Second one, clinging to false view. False views including no belief there's no giving, no dana, no resultant come from dana, no offering, no karma and its result, and also deny morality, virtues, and he believed there's no arahant in the world. There's no one practice noble path to attain arahantship. All these are called false views, clinging to false view. We are lucky that we don't have this type of false views. That number three is clinging to rights and riches. During Buddha's time, there are many people cling to rights and riches, even nowadays. People also cling to rights and riches, thinking this is the way to liberation. During Buddha's time, there was two different practices, thinking is the way to liberation. For example, worshipping the fire, like Uruvela Kassapa, they worship the fire. And also like some of the cow practice and dog practices and so on. So during Buddha's time, there was two ascetic. One practiced cow, behaved like a cow. Another one behaved like a dog. So two of them cling to this cow practice and dog practice. We say clinging to rights and riches, thinking this is the practice leading to the cessation of all suffering. So they practice cow and practice, they behave like cow, behave like dog for a very, very long time. So one day, they happened to hear the Buddha was coming to their place. So they want to go and see Buddha and ask them the question. So finally, they came to Buddha and asked. The cow practice asked, say, Venerable Sir, my friend who practiced like dog for more than 20 years already. After that, where he reborn? Buddha said, don't ask me this question. But they insist Buddha to tell them the truth. Buddha refused for the second time, for the third time, and Buddha said, since you insist, so I got to tell you the truth. He said that you believe behaving like a dog or cow and thinking this will lead you to liberation or to lead you to be reborn in heaven. This is called wrong view. So if you die having the wrong view, then you will be reborn either in hell or in animal kingdom, in animal world. And the one who practice like dog, after hearing Buddha's answer, crying. Buddha say, see, I asked you, don't ask me. Why? I know you will get sad when you hear my answer. And they say that no, not because of your answer, because I feel that I'm cheated by my teacher, or I'm cheated by tradition, saying that, following the cow practice, I'll be liberated. So this is called clinging to rights and riches. Number 4, clinging to doctrine of self. And clinging to doctrine of self, like believing that mind is a self, rupa is a self, cetasika is a self, or 5 aggregate as having a self. This is called clinging to doctrine of self. Okay, now depend on clinging, becoming. Upadana pachayo bhava, becoming. What is the meaning of becoming? Becoming means karmic activities, both wholesome and unwholesome, that constitute karma that generates rebirth. So this wholesome and unwholesome karma means 12 types of unwholesome citta, 8 types of wholesome citta pertaining to sense sphere, then 5 types of fine material jhana, and 4 types of immaterial jhana, or 29 types of consciousness that constitute karma that generate rebirth, whether in a 4 woeful state, or in human realm, or heavenly realm, or in material realm, or immaterial realm. So in fact, this becoming means karmic becoming, karma becoming, same as karmic formation. But why this mention again? Why becoming? Why mention again? Because karmic formation refer to the past life. Karmic formation that give birth to rebirth consciousness in this present life. And in this present life, we also perform karmic activity. And this becoming, we call bhava. The karmic activity we perform in this life will conducive birth in the next life. Depend on becoming birth in the next life. Okay? So becoming, so this becoming means whatever wholesome and unwholesome karma. Once wholesome and unwholesome karma perform and supported by craving and clinging, then they leave behind karmic energy. This karmic energy, when this karmic energy meet with favorable conditions, then they will produce birth. Okay? Therefore, depend on becoming birth. What is the meaning of birth? Birth is the first manifestation of any aggregates in a new existence. We did not say 5 aggregate. Why? Because in the immaterial world, there is no rupa, immaterial, no material, right? So there are only 4 aggregates. Therefore, we did not mention 5 aggregates here. We only say any aggregates. So in human, we have 5 aggregates. So the first manifestation of any aggregate in a new existence is called birth. And because of birth, then birth leads to decay. Decay means bodily deterioration, such as loss of teeth, gray hair, wrinkles, loss of memory, etc. And also, birth leads to death. Death means breaking up of aggregates. And birth leads to sorrow. Sorrow means mourning in the mind. And birth leads to lamentation, crying out after loss. Loss of family, loss of beloved one, and so on. And birth leads to pain, pain in the body. And birth also leads to grief, pain in the mind. And birth also leads to despair, extreme burning in the mind, loss of hope. Then Buddha said, thus arising the whole mass of suffering. Started from the ignorant avijja paccaya sankhara, up to the birth, thus arise the whole mass of suffering. And Buddha here say, arise the whole mass of suffering. Here Buddha didn't mention individual. He just say the mass of suffering. He didn't say arise the individual. He say only arise the whole mass of suffering. And this suffering, or the wheel of the birth and death, will continue to revolve so long as the root cause of ignorance and craving have not been uprooted by the Arahant path knowledge. So just as the tree will continue to grow as long as the roots remain intact. Right? So now we finished the 12 dependent origination from ignorant up to the birth and up to the decay, death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, despair. So this 12 dependent origination also can be seen through 3 periods of time. 3 periods of time. First is past time, present time, and future time. We call 3 periods of time. In the past, ignorant and karmic formation are classified as past causes. Then the past causes produce present effects, right? So present effects start with consciousness, rebirth consciousness, and all the resultant consciousness along the life. And also mind and matter. Mind here means mental factors. Matter can be kamaja, rupa, chittaja, rupa, and so on. 6 sense spaces, contact, feeling. These are the present effects come from the past causes. And because this life, present life, we still have craving, right? We are not arahant. Therefore, we still have craving. We still crave for sensual pleasures. We still crave for our profession. We crave for our family, our spouse. And we also strongly cling to them, cling to our business, our family, our son and daughter, and so on. And all this clinging, craving and clinging, we perform lots of action based on craving and clinging. And this become becoming. Becoming means karmic becoming. When this karmic becoming ripen, then will produce future effects. So we are sure, so long we don't yet become arahant, we are sure to have future effects. Start with birth. So when there is birth, there is decay, death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair. Thus arise the whole mass of suffering. So we can look upon the dependent origination according to 3 periods of time, past, present, and future. There is only cause and effect relationship. Therefore, dependent origination explains the conditional and dependent nature of the uninterrupted flux of the manifold mental and material phenomena of existence. Right? All these are ignorant karmic formation. All these are mental and material phenomena, and they are very complicated because depend on this that arise. When this exists, that exists, and so on. So you just have to remember, dependent origination explain the conditional and dependent reason phenomena. Then we also can explain dependent origination according to 20 modes. In the past, we have passed 5 causes. Just now we mentioned ignorant and karmic formation 2 only. But for thoroughly understand the teaching of the Buddha, we also must understand whenever there is ignorant and karmic formation, then craving, clinging are accompanied with them. When there's ignorance, sure there will be craving and clinging. This is already sure, because ignorance and craving and clinging, these are called a root cause for repeated birth. There's no a time, only ignorant but no craving. Not possible. And they will not have time, only craving, no ignorance. Also not possible. Craving arises due to ignorance. And because of ignorance arise craving. So craving and ignorant, craving, clinging, these 3 must come together, right? And because of these 3, then we perform karmic formations. Karmic formation and becoming is the same meaning. Same meaning, but karmic formation refer to past life. Becoming, in fact, refers to present causes. But when we come to the 20 modes, we explain past 5 causes together. So ignorant, karmic formation, craving, clinging, becoming are the past 5 causes. And because of these causes, they produce present effects. So consciousness, mind, matter, 6 sense bases, contact, feeling, these are the present 5 effects come from past 5 causes. Okay. And in the present life, we still have craving, we also have clinging, we still perform good or bad karma, which is called karmic becoming, right? And as I said before, when there's craving and clinging, they must accompany with ignorance, right? And becoming and karmic formation are the same, same meaning. One refer to the past, karmic formation refer to the past, becoming refer to the present, right? So this present 5 causes will produce future 5 effects. And future 5 effects will be rebirth consciousness. When there is rebirth consciousness, then there's mind matter. When there's mind matter, there's 6 sense bases. So with the 6 sense bases, we can see there's eye contact, ear contact, and so on. And because of contact, there's feeling. So these are future 5 effects. So they are all 20 modes. Also, we can explain dependent origination according to the 3 rounds. First is round of defilement, round of karma, round of result. So in a round of defilements, there are 3 mental factors here: ignorance, craving, and clinging. In fact, craving and clinging is the same mental factor, but clinging is the intense craving. So because of ignorance of 4 noble truths, therefore we crave for 5 aggregates. We crave for sensual pleasures. We don't understand the fault or the danger of sensual pleasures. So we crave for them and become strongly cling to them. And when we strongly cling to the sensual pleasures or cling to the existence, then we perform karma in order to get a new life again, right? Without get a new life, how are you going to continue to enjoy sensual pleasures? Therefore, because of ignorance and not knowing the Four Noble Truths, we crave for birth. We crave for sensual pleasures. We cling to them. And in order to get them, we perform karma and become round of karma. Round of karma means karmic formations, whether we perform unwholesome, wholesome, or we try to attain jhana. Okay, karmic formation and becoming are the same meaning. So once round of karma are performed, it leaves behind karmic energy. When karmic energy, so during dying moment, one of the karma we perform will ripen. Definitely will ripen one. And ripen, whether ripen in the four woeful state or heaven or human, depend on what karma ripen first. So after karma ripen, then we get a result we call round of result. Then we get the first rebirth consciousness, then mind and matter, then six sense bases, then contact, then feeling. And when there's pleasant feeling, we crave for pleasant feeling again. We crave for it, then we cling to the feeling, we cling to the sensual pleasures, come from the enjoyment. Then we perform, and because of this defilement, craving and clinging again, then it come back again to it turned to be round of refinement again. And once there's a round of refinement, then there's round of karma. And when there's round of karma, there's round of result. When there's round of result, then there's come back again to a round of refinement. And that is called endless cycle. Endless cycle until you get tired of it. Otherwise, there's no motivation, there's no energy, there's no samvega, spiritual urgency to practice. Most people enjoy going around again and again. Only few will feel disenchanted or disgusted about the round going on again and again. Okay. So all these are the how dependent origination be explained in the way of 3 rounds. Okay, so now we already understand dependent origination. So dependent origination in an ultimate sense is the endless process of cyclical arising, passing, re-arising, repassing, undergone by mind and matter, as I explained in the 3 rounds. So the mind and matter continue rising, passing, re-arising, and repassing again and again. This is called dependent origination and dependent on the causes, right? And there's no one undergoes this suffering. Therefore, it is said, suffering exists, but no sufferer is found. This is the right view. Many people, when we try to explain dependent origination in the 3 periods of time, past, present, and future, they start to entertain the wrong view of self. Oh, they say it is myself who undergo the cycle of rebirth. So many people, when they explain the 3 lifetimes, they automatically entertain or engage in a permanent self who undergo the cycle of rebirth. Therefore, we must be very careful to understand that only mind and matter. Why we spend so much time study consciousness, mental factors, and rupa? Just to tell Buddha, just to tell us there's no self. What is arising is only consciousness, mind, matter, and rupa. What comes to cessation is only consciousness, mental factors, and rupa. So, arising of mind and matter is the arising of suffering. Arising of a cessation of mind and matter is the cessation of suffering. So, the dependent origination only explains how suffering comes about, depend on ignorance and craving. And when you remove the ignorance and craving, or uproot the ignorance and craving, the suffering comes to cessation. Dependent origination itself, as we have studied now, does not mention there is self. Dependent origination only mention cause and condition, and also the dependent reason phenomena only. But some of the speakers do not make clear this point. They use the conventional truth to explain dependent origination. There's one self, past life because of ignorance and craving. I perform karma. Because I perform karma, then I come to next rebirth. So they use the conventional truth to explain dependent origination that confuse many people. So many people get the wrong view. There is a permanent self who undergo the cycle of birth and death. This is also one of the important points why we study consciousness, why we study mental factors and rupa, in order to let us understand there is no self in chitta, cittasika, and rupa. Okay? So when we study dependent origination, we overcome two types of views, three types. Here, the view of eternalism. The view of eternalism means the permanent self go through the round of rebirth. Now we already understand there's no self, right? Only mind and matter. So when you understand Abhidhamma, you understand dependent origination, you remove the view of eternalism. And also you overcome the view of annihilation. Annihilation say that after death, everything comes to cessation. But we already have understanding, so long the ignorance and craving remain intact, then the cycle of rebirth will continue. There is no annihilation after death. So long the cause and condition are still there, and the effect will continue to go on. There's no annihilation at all, right? Therefore, we remove the view of annihilation. Also, we can remove the view of self theoretically, not practically yet. We remove the view of self because as we understand, dependent on ignorant karmic formation, depend on karmic formation consciousness, depend on consciousness, mind, matter. So all this reason, dependently reason phenomena are just mind, matter. There's no way you can find a permanent self among these 12 links. Therefore, we also overcome the view of self. This is the benefit of studying dependent origination. Okay. Then we overcome, according to Sutta Samyutta Nikaya, Nidana Samyutta, Sutta 20, Buddha said, when you understand dependent origination, you overcome doubt about past and future. Okay? And when bhikkhus, a noble disciple, has clearly seen with correct wisdom as it really is this dependent origination and this dependently arisen phenomena. Like karmic formation is dependently arisen phenomena. Consciousness is also dependently arisen phenomena, right? But depend on causes, right? So it is impossible that he will run back into the past and thinking, did I exist in the past? Now I think you will not ask. You definitely understand now. Huh? So this person is impossible that he will run back into the past thinking, did I exist in the past? Did I not exist in the past? What was I in the past? How was I in the past? This question will not occur to him. Or that he will run forward into the future thinking, will I exist in the will I exist in the future? Will I not exist in the future? What will I be in the future? What will I be in the future? Only cause and effect, right? And or that he will now be inwardly confused about the present. Thus, do I exist? Do I not exist? What am I? Or who am I? This being, where has it come from, and where will it go? All these questions will not occur to him if he understands dependent origination thoroughly and practically. So he overcomes doubt about past and future. Okay. Therefore, Buddha say in a sutta or in a commentary of sutta, say that once you understand dependent origination, you will not think of all this type of question, past and future and present. And for a few lifetimes, you will not be reborn in the four woeful states. Okay, samsara. Beings go round and round in this samsara. We call 31 plane of existence, according to karmic formation based on ignorance and craving, right? And the continuous arising of mind and matter in cessation is called samsara. So what is the meaning of samsara? It's the continuous arising of mind and matter in cessation. It's called samsara, or round of rebirth. Now come to another important question. How could one get out of this samsara? There is with the attainment of arahant, path and fruition knowledge. So when one attains arahant, path and fruition, supramundane knowledge, then ignorance ceases. Ignorance, the is the root cause of repeated birth. So when ignorance ceases, then the whole chain of dependent origination breaks down. So when ignorance ceases, karmic formation ceases. When karmic formation ceases, consciousness ceases. When consciousness ceases, mind and matter cease. When mind and matter cease, six sense bases cease. When six sense bases cease, contact ceases. When contact ceases, feeling ceases. When feeling ceases, craving ceases. When craving ceases, clinging ceases. When clinging ceases, becoming ceases. When there's no becoming, birth does not arise. When there's no karmic formation based on ignorance and craving, then birth does not arise. When there's no birth, there's no decay, no death, no sorrow, no lamentation, no pain and despair. Thus, the entire of suffering comes to cessation. This is how we end the cycle of rebirth. Okay? And what is the path leading to the cessation of all this suffering? What's the path leading to the cessation of all this suffering? There's the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path. And in the first discourse of the Buddha, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the setting in motion the wheel of the Dhamma, which I'm going to explain in the year-end retreat. Buddha said, the Tathagata has comprehended the middle path, which gives rise to vision, insight knowledge, and which tends inclined to peace and higher wisdom, enlightenment, and nibbana. That is noble eightfold path. So this let's go very quickly. The noble eightfold path. The first one is called right understanding. What is right understanding? Understand the Four Noble Truths is called right understanding. Samadhi. And the second, right thought, Samma Sankappa, the thought of non-cruelty, the thought of non-ill will, and the thought of renunciation is called right thought. Thought of renunciation doesn't mean that to become monk and nun, just to renounce the enjoyment of sensual pleasures. It's called thought of renunciation. And thought of non-ill will means metta. And thought of non-cruelty means compassion, right? This is called right thought. Then right speech, Samma Vacha. Right action, Samma Kammanta. And right livelihood, Samma Ajiva. Right effort, Samma Vayama. And the right mindfulness, Samma Sati. Right mindfulness means the four foundation of mindfulness. Foundation of mindfulness on kaya, body, on feelings, on different mental state, and on Dhamma. And the last one, right concentration, means first jhana, upachara samadhi, up to appana samadhi. From the excess concentration up to jhana concentration. So this noble eightfold path is the way to bring the cessation. When you walk completely the noble eightfold path, then one will attain arahant path and fruition knowledge. And when one attain arahant path and fruition knowledge, then ignorance will come to cessation. So when ignorance come to cessation, the chain of dependent origination will break down. Okay. Etavata chamihi sampadang punya sampadang sappe deva sappe bhutta sappe satta anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya akasata cha bummatha deva nanka mahidika punyatang anumoditva cirang rakkantu sasanang cirang rakkantu desanang cirang rakkantu mang paranti ada imaya pati padaya cara marang nama parimoce sami idang me punyang asawa kaya wahang hotu idang me punyang nipanasa pacayo hotu mama punya bagang sabasatanang bajemi te sape me samang punya bagang dabantu sadhu sadhu sadhu. May the merit acquired through this sharing and listening to the Abhidhamma, may all of you be safe, happy, healthy, prosperous, both mundane and supramundane attainment. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.